Good day, everybody. We are planting some fruit trees today. These are going to be over here in our yard, kind of to this side area. We've considered turning this into kind of an orchard. We've done a lot of gardening in this area. We've had a lot of chickens and different types of cattle impact and stuff over here. We are planning on having at least one full row of trees. This is going to be about 15 trees. In this video clip, you'll see us put in about 9 holes. We've already got some of the trees in. But we're thinking after we plant all of the trees, we're going to come over and we're going to do kind of a vineyard. So we'll have a couple of different types of grapes and stuff. But we'd love to see y'all's input. If y'all have any ideas or thoughts, I'd love to see that. We've done quite a few different improvements on our homestead based on some of the comments, based on some of the things that we've seen other people put on. So we really appreciate that input. And I just wanted to mention, I know someone's going to mention it. I know that my tractor is putting out some blue smoke here and there. I've actually already talked to my diesel mechanic quite a bit about this, and at first we were worried that the tractor was actually starting to burn some oil, but it doesn't seem to be losing any oil, which would indicate that it was burning oil. And we're pretty sure that it's going to be the injector pump. So if you're concerned about that, just I appreciate your concern, but there's no need to comment on that. That might be something worth checking out for yourself. If you do have a tractor that's smoking, that could be a possible issue. This little deal you can see Savannah hanging onto on the back, that's kind of a decent improvement that was put on this auger. I purchased it new. I kind of like it. It's kind of flimsy. There's only so much you can do with it. You can't do as much as maybe you'd like to be able to do with it. But it's kind of nice because the person in the back can kind of guide it around and move it so that you don't have to get perfect to the hole. They can kind of help guide that as you go down. And then once it's in the hole, there's not really anything else you can do with it except side-to-side movement. But that is kind of handy because sometimes the auger, there's enough slack in your 3-point hitch that auger can kind of move one way or the other. But I really like using an auger for planting trees because the auger can help you to get a lot of depth, especially here in this clay soil. That way you can get some really fast, deep growth for your roots. It can help it to really go down in there. So we'll actually bury some of that soil back, or sometimes in the case of this clay soil, we'll actually replace it with a better topsoil down deeper. And that, like I said, that's just to help that deep growth. We actually put a couple different sawdust and coffee ground mix as part of the soil, and we also put a little bit of peat moss. I'm always careful to put too much peat moss because it can cause your soils to be acidic, but some peat moss can be good with trees just because it does help with the drainage and stuff of your soil. And when you're working with clay soil, you really want to help out with that. And I have done some soil tests in the past, and I have seen that, you know, a little bit of this peat moss is not, it does not seem to mess up my pH too much. If I'm really wanting to get that pH, get that lower pH for something like a blueberry, where you want your pH to be about a 6, I'll actually add quite a bit of peat moss as I'll actually use that as a weed barrier on top as well. And so when you put quite a bit of that on there, it does seem to help lower the pH down to where you want it. It's not going to get much lower than 6, not that you want it that way, but the peat moss, for all the tests that I've done, seems to be about the 6 to 6.5. So it's just somewhat acidic. But this turned out to be really nice. I really like the way this turned out. It would be better if we had like a 12 or an 18-inch auger in this clay soil. We did end up digging the hole out some and then replacing it. So not just did we go deep, we also dug it out. This auger is a 9-inch auger. But I mean, really, you could use even a 6-inch auger and it would be fine. You just need to get a post hole digger or a shovel or something and dig outward some. It really helps when you're planting trees if you'll go and fill your holes up with water first and let that water to absorb. I actually forgot about that on some of these trees, but I did go back and water them, so it's not a huge deal, but it does help to saturate that deep soil, and that helps to encourage those roots to go deep as well, because those roots are going to start to break away from that pot, from where they've been bound in that pot. They're going to start to break away and search for water. And if you've got water deep inside that hole before you ever place that tree, then they'll start to go straight down. Alright guys, forgive me for the wind. It's a windy morning. We got the trees finished yesterday, and then it was a hard day yesterday, everything we did. We started on the trees probably last night. I'm sorry, not last night. We started on the trees as the last thing that we did for that day. So we were already both about wore out. But we did get them all in the ground. We do have one more pear tree to plant in the, we're calling it the deer orchard for now. If you haven't seen some of those videos, you can check those out. We'll be putting more out as well. But you can see what we've got so far. I'll walk through and I'm going to show you the trees that we've got, and then the trees we're planning on putting in afterwards. You can see some vacant holes down in there so far as well. So right now we actually have 3 blueberry bushes here, 3 different varieties. Our goats, they got out, and I think they killed them. I don't know. These blueberries have had absolute, just all kinds of trouble. We planted them when we lived at our house across the road. We do have old videos where you can see some of our old life over there. You can check some of that out. They're in our old video. All you have to do is go to videos, click on videos on my YouTube channel, and then you can scroll through there and find all those different things. You can kind of see what we've got. I think I even got some videos with these blueberry bushes over there. So we planted them over there, and then we transplanted them, put them in a big tub, and while we were working over here, they stayed in that tub for a while. The cows got to them, I think, once while they were in that tub. Then we finally planted them over here, and then I think another time the cows had gotten in and they grazed on them. That hit them pretty hard. And then another time, the goats actually got out and hit them, and so they've had a rough life. So we may have to replant new ones. This one over here on the end's actually pulling through and seems to be okay. But so this right here is a mayhaw, yes, it's a mayhaw tree. That is a plum tree. I'm not going to tell you all the varieties just yet. We've got all sorts of different varieties. Then we've got another variety. We've done, with most of our trees, we do at least 2 different varieties, even if you don't have to. I prefer to, because you have less issues overall. You're going to have more fruit production most of the time, even if you don't need that second variety. But also, sometimes one variety will actually do better on your land than other varieties, okay? Some will come on down. Those are 2 different plum trees. So we've got 2 nectarine trees. This one right here is our peach tree. It has done phenomenal compared to some of the other stuff. It was planted at the same time as some of them. Now these are new. We planted these this year, okay? But the 2 plums and the mayhaw tree, those were planted the exact same time as this peach tree, and this peach tree has just done enormously well, and I'm not sure why. So ordinarily, I think it's actually its 2nd year. Ordinarily I wouldn't let it fruit, but I'm actually going to let this one fruit this year. It's probably not the best thing, but I'm going to go ahead and let it fruit to try to let the other trees kind of catch up to it. I probably really shouldn't do that, but I am going to do that. This is another peach. This one will probably die. We got it for pretty much free. It was pretty cheap. We got it for like $5 or something like that, I think. But anyway, we went ahead and bought it. It is a different variety of peach, so we put that one in there. So we put 3 different varieties of peaches. This one's actually, I believe it's a Ruston Red. I'm not sure what it is, but it's actually a bred. It was actually, well, for lack of words, it was bred to. It was actually put together just for Ruston, the town that we live near and we do a lot of business in and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. We've got the Peach Festival and everything over there, so that's pretty neat. And you can see these 2 vacant holes, and then you see a tree right up in there. That tree is one of the surprise trees that I was wanting to tell you all about. Now I'm gonna walk up to it close, and I'm gonna give you a chance to guess. You can put it in the comments if you recognize the tree or if you can guess it. Okay, see if I can get close, show you some of the leaves. Everyone that knows a lot about what they're looking at will probably be able to identify the tree. That is, if the wind is not blowing it around too much. I really hope that this video is not going to be ruined. I know the wind's coming in a lot. I'm asking you to please bear with me. So go ahead, put your comment in there, put your guess. We're going to put 2 more varieties down there, one there and there. And if it helps, this is a tree that you really do not need another variety. It really is a really good self-pollinator. But we want more than one variety to spread out our season a little bit. But we also really like this fruit. So this fruit is a pomegranate. We are really, really excited to get pomegranates. I did not know that we could grow pomegranates in our area, but apparently pomegranates are a Mediterranean fruit, and so they actually do quite well in our hot, humid area. They actually do pretty decent. So we're going to plant 2 more there and there. They do require a good amount of sun, so we didn't want to plant them all the way up against that tree line there, just in case. Okay. So then now we've got these 2 holes. These 2 holes are vacant. I don't know yet what I'm going to do there. If y'all have an idea, throw it in the comments. I'd love to see it. These 2 down here are apples. Okay. We weren't going to get apples. I was a little torn about buying apples, not because I don't like apples. Apples, depending on the variety, apples are one of my favorite fruits. Okay, apples, peaches, I like nectarines, I like apricots. All of those are some of my favorite fruits. Okay, but I saw several people that grew apple trees. We grew some apple trees when we were kids on our place, and some of them don't do well at all. Some of them do good, but then the fruit doesn't taste like it would if it was grown up north. Apples that are grown up north, like in Missouri and Washington and all of those areas, they can grow some delicious apples. Some of the best apples I've ever eaten in my life were actually in Missouri. Okay, I went up there to visit my brother. He used to live up there for a little while. One of my brothers. I've still got brothers that live up there. But anyway, so I was torn. I wasn't going to grow apples. Usually, a lot of times, so we get about 1,100 chill hours. Anywhere between 9 and 1,100 chill hours here where we live. Okay, so it's very important if you're going to plant apples or something that's more native to a colder area. Even though they've been crossed around and they've played with the varieties, put them together and figured out how to make them more hot, hardy, they're still originally a cooler, hardy plant. So anytime you're taking something and you're bringing it down south, you really want to be really careful, or vice versa. You know, like if you were to take certain plants, like let's say you took a pomegranate and you wanted to take it all the way as far up north as you could, you want to be real careful about what you could do. Very selective on your varieties and stuff. So even if these do produce, it's possible I'll have more issues with bugs and stuff. One reason why this can be bad is it can make it harder to be fully organic. We try to be as organic as possible. And these are for our own consumption. We aren't planning on selling any of these, but we do this for us. We're trying to be organic because that's what we want to do, okay? Now, I mean truly organic, which is, I call regenerative agriculture. I call that organic on steroids. Because it's as good as you can get. Okay, it's as good as you could. I don't think you could get any better than true regenerative ranching. And I know this video is starting to drag out a bit, okay, but I really like this idea. So I did go ahead and buy these apples because I was impressed with the amount of chill hours. Okay, most apple varieties I've seen that are for sale, they're between 600 to 700 chill hours is what it requires. And it's like, that's kind of pushing it. I've even seen people put stuff in your stores that say that they're only good for 900 chill hours. And it's like, well, if you're between 900 and 1100 chill hours in your area, and the apple tree needs 900 chill hours, that's really pushing it. That means that you could end up with some bad years. Okay. So I really like these because both of these, one of them I think was 300 chill hours, and the other one was like between 300 and 500 chill hours, which is a lot better. I like that because most likely we're going to get those chill hours. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to try them out. They're supposed to be really good. We got a green apple variety, and then we got a variety that my wife really likes. I like the variety as well. It's not my absolute favorite, but I do like it. It's the pink lady apple. That one is supposed to be a really good variety for here. So who knew? So hopefully that's going to turn out really well. I'm going to try to wrap up the video here pretty quick, but we got 2 more holes here. I'm kind of thinking apricot trees do get pretty large, larger than I'd really like to have right here. So I may just keep them pruned back along with everything else. I'm probably going to keep everything pruned to about a 12-foot tree in this area. Okay, but I'm a little torn. I don't know. I may go ahead and get apricot and keep them trimmed back to that height. I'm not sure. But if y'all know of any other trees that y'all are thinking might do well there, I mean, we live in north central Louisiana, you know, so there's quite a few varieties of and everything of different types of fruits. Quite a few options that we actually have in our area, because we kind of have that perfect. We're kind of in that perfect area. If we're growing multiple different varieties. Okay, so the wind's starting to pick up quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go here in just a second, but I do want to say, please, if y'all have any ideas, I'd love to see them. I'm not committed yet to an apricot. I'm going to have an apricot on my property because I love apricots, but I'm not committed to putting them there just yet. Y'all tell me what you think. I was going to put pear there. I changed my mind. I took all the pears and we're going to put all of them down there in the deer orchard. Okay, so like I said, there's other videos y'all can check out about that. But any ideas, guys? I've thought about cherry. I've thought about different types of things. You know, there's different reasons why I can't do certain ones here, or I don't want to. Okay, I'm looking for trees primarily that are around the 15 to 20 foot height, and that's their maximum height. And I'll probably keep them trimmed at around 12 foot. You know, definitely want something that does actually grow taller than 12 foot. But anyway, you've heard all of my different fruits that I have here specifically. So let me know. Give me some ideas. I'd love to see something. It needs to be something that I'll want to grow a pair to. I mean, grow 2 of them. So, all right, guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. That way you can see everything.